Page 19, chapter 11. Page 9, chapter 11. We're getting close to the test. So it'll be Monday, we'll do chapter 12. Wednesday, review. Friday, test. I think is what my schedule. No. Maybe yes. Yes. Which, that's that half day. Okay? So Friday's a half day, you have to take a test that day. I'm pretty sure none of your other classes are going to do anything. Okay, so sometimes probability gets a little bit tricky. There's 4 things in here. 2 of them are easy and 2 of them get confused with each other. So don't ever get mad. Just think, oh, I need to do it the other way. Okay, so if the probability of something happening is P of the probability of E, then if we can do the probability of it not occurring as probability of not E. And that's probably shouldn't be really new notation. Okay, and it's called the complement of E, if you want to know the vocabulary word. But it's just basically either an event's going to happen or it's not going to happen. And when you add those 2 together, the probability is 1. However, figure this out, switch that around, and the probability of an event not happening is common sense 1 minus the probability that it does happen. So if I'm rolling a 6-sided die, what's the probability of not rolling a 5? Then it's 1 minus the probability of rolling a 5. Super simple. And so we're going to move on to this one. And this is, I do this one from here with basically a jar with marbles in it, because I think this is what they used in 6th grade. Basically is some type of a bag with marbles in it to teach you some simple probability. And if I have 4 white marbles, 3 red, and 3 green, that's a total of 10 marbles in my bag. Find the probability of not selecting a red one. So remember, that's 1. The probability of not red is equal to 1 minus the probability of red, which is equal to 1 minus the probability of red. There are 3 out of 10. So 1 minus 3 out of 10 would be 7 out of 10. Or if they want decimal, 0.7. And I think most people have very little problems with this. I think. If you do, let me know. We'll work through some problems together. Alright, so they do ask card questions on your homework, on your final. There are card questions, so you've got to know a little bit about cards. If you've never played cards, then you might want to go play cards with someone. And have we talked about cards at all? If we have some problems yet with cards, I can't remember. Spoons, that's a good one. All right, that's kind of fun one. All right, so yeah, it does. That happens too. All right, so here's your cards. You have diamonds, spades. You have diamonds. You have clubs, okay, and you have hearts. So there are 4 different types. Half of them are red and half of them are black. And then the other thing to know is, of the diamonds, how many diamonds are there? Well, they go from 1 to 10, and then Jack, Queen, King. Jack, yeah, we'll have to find them. There's a 5 of diamonds. There's a Queen, diamonds. Where's that King of diamonds? There's a 10 and a 9. There's a King of diamonds. Okay, there's 6. I'm going to get all the diamonds out here. 8 and 4. And there's going to be 13 total of these. Or there should be. Unless somebody's lost some cards. Okay, and ace, you think, oh, that's a low card, but that's like a good card. So most people think that's the highest card. And then, of course, then the king would be the next highest, because a male-dominated society that we live in. These are sexist. All right, then the queen, and then the jack, and then, of course, 10, 9, 8. There's no 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there's 13 of each suit, if you don't know that. Okay. So one card from a standard deck of 52. Find the probability that you are not, there's an important word, dealt a diamond. So the probability of not a diamond is equal to 1 minus the probability of a diamond is equal to 1 minus, and I said there's 13 out of 52 of them. But some of you might think, wait, if there's 13 diamonds and 13 hearts and 13 clubs and 13 spades, well, that's just one. That actually simplifies to 1/4, and it does. If you put that in your calculator, however, it will simplify to 3/4. 1 minus a fourth is 3/4, or 0.75. So once you set it up, I strongly encourage you to use your calculator at that point. So it's the next one is probability not an ace. So that's 1 minus the probability of an ace, which is 1 minus, there are 4 aces out of 52, which is equal to, put that in your calculator, it comes out to be 12/13, which is some number, some decimal. Approximately. And your Pearson homework is really good about approximate answers versus exact answers. So the exact answer is there, and the approximate answer is here. On a test, I don't care which one it is, okay? But your Pearson homework is really good about that. All right. All right. So two events cannot happen at the same time. They're called mutually exclusive. So let's say I'm only going to pick one card from here. So let's let A be selecting an ace and B a king. Okay? And I'm only going to pick one card. Boom, right there, one card. Now,
if you were a magician, you could pick an ace and a king.
But I'm not a magician, so I cannot pick an ace and a king. I can only pick an ace or a king.
You could.
Okay.
And it would just be luck.
It'd
Pure luck.
be a weird card, yes. Okay, so these are called mutually exclusive. They can't both happen. I only drew one card. It can't both happen. So we have this little formula. If it's an or, if I want, what's the probability of a king or an ace, then I can just add those probabilities. Doesn't this look a little bit like set notation when we did all that stuff? Okay. All right. So back to our jar with 4 whites, 3 reds, 3 blues. So what's the probability of white or red? Oh, I know set notation was A or B. Remember that? Okay. So probability of white or red would equal to the probability of white plus the probability of red. And it's real simple with this jar of marbles. It does get a little bit harder with some of your homework problems. Once again, if you find something in your homework, don't understand, I'm here all day. So probability of white, there's 4 white out of 10, plus the red, there was 3 out of 10. Add those together is 7 out of 10, which is 0.7. We like to roll dice, cards, and jars of marbles. So a single 6-sided die, what's the probability of getting a 4? Probability of a 4 or a 5 would be the probability of 4 plus the probability of 5. These are mutually exclusive because you cannot roll both a 4 and a 5 in one roll. So 1/6, 1 out of every 6 times I'm going to roll a 4. 1 out of every 6 times I'm going to roll a 5. Put that together. 1/3, which is approximately 0.3333. Okay, so that's the easy part. Now, the part that might confuse you. It's only one page, that's nice. What if they are not mutually exclusive? So the probability of A or B, we would use this formula. This formula works for the other ones too. But you got to know probability of A plus the probability of B. But remember, it has an overlap, so kind of think of it like this. Remember that it's all of this, that, and it's all of this. But do you notice that the overlap was counted twice? So now I need to subtract out the overlap. So the problem I remember is the presidents, some had dogs, some had cats, some had both. So dogs, cats, and both, and you had to subtract them out. Okay. Let's see if we got here. Suppose you randomly select one card from a deck of 52 cards. Find the probability of selecting a spade or a king. So there's some spades. There's a spade, there's a spade. There's 13 spades, right? Gotta find them all. There's another one. There's another one. I'm looking for a specific one. Of course, it's probably at the bottom here. There's another one. There's the ace of spades. Woo! Alright, there's the one I was looking for. Okay, so I think there's 12 of them. But there's the king of spades. That's the one that's in both groups. So this is going to equal to the probability of spade plus the probability of king minus the probability of spade and king. Alright, so how many spades are there? There's 13 out of 52 spades. How many kings are there? There are 4 kings. And how many spades and kings are there? There's just 1. So 1 out of 52. So that's 16 out of 52. Simplified as something. It's equal to 4/13, which is approximately equal to 0.3077. They used to make you go out four digits. I don't know. Can't remember. Too many different homework companies. Okay, so you just have to watch those, and you got to decide, is it mutually exclusive or not? All right, and then they throw in this little stuff here. So basically, forget everything you know about probability, and we're going to go on to a thing called odds. Okay? And odds is weird. Odds is a ratio. So don't think of it as, don't try to get into a decimal, except you're probably going to have decimal answers. But it's just a little fraction of number of ways I win divided by, now remember, probability is total number of ways, but this is divided by number of ways I lose or don't win. And I really wish we would not do odds. And if you need to flip this over to odds against, if you're if you're going to go against me, number of ways I lose divided by number of ways I win. So we're going to go back to our jar of marbles. 4, 3, and 3. Find the odds in favor of selecting a blue marble. Well, how many blue marbles are there? 3. And how many non-blue marbles are there? 7. So the answer is 3/7, which is quite weird. Which is approximately 0.4286. And there's a good chance that if you get the wrong answer on your homework, you just have to take the fraction and flip it over, because maybe they were asking odds against, as we have in B. Against selecting a white marble. So 3 and 3, so that'd be 6. And 4, which is 3/2, which is 1.5. So the number of blue divided by number of not blue. And then if they ask against, number of not white over the number of white. It's really weird, and it's on the final, so it's going to be on my test twice, test 3 and test 4, to make sure you know it.
Aren't there 2 red queens? Or just one?
There's 2 red queens.
2 out of 52.
So odds in favor of getting a red queen. No, you just did probability. So there's 2 red queens, and there's 50 non-red queens.
Oh, got it.
So it's 1 over
So
25.
just subtract, got it. 2 red queens.
Okay? Alright. Against getting a 4. So we want not 4 over 4. The number of ways of not getting a 4 and over the ways of getting a 4. Well, there's only 4 ways of getting a 4, but there's 48 ways of not getting a 4. So if we simplify, sorry. Oh, wow, that's really bad. Sorry, for those kids at home, there's 2 red queens. There are 50 non-red queens. No. There are 50 cards that are not red queens. Okay, so that simplifies. Not a 4 is, there's 48 cards that are not a 4. There are 4 cards that are a 4. So it's 12 over 1, which is just 12. And so that's troublesome sometimes, that the odds are 12. And it's basically a ratio 12 to 1. And I think they might do that as well. Instead of fraction, they might do this little thing. That there's a box, a colon, and a box. So So it's 12-1. Okay. That's it. So far so good. We're moving forward. Go to the counselor. See you next week.
See you Monday.
Yes, ma'am.